everybody, it's Hannah and welcome back to my channel. So I'm excited for today's video. Today I'm going to be doing the full face of my most expensive makeup products. So I went through my entire collection, looked everything up on like Sephora and on Ulta just to make sure that these really were the most expensive. Some of them I do have the travel sizes, but if they were the full size then they would be the most expensive ones. So I still wanted to include them just because they are like my more like luxury or more high-end products that I own. So I guess we'll just go ahead and get right into it. For my primers, I actually have two that I selected. The first one I have is the Hollywood Flawless Filter. This is in the shade 2 Fair, and this is the mini, but the full size goes for $44 on Sephora. So I figured that since this is my most expensive one, if I were to have the full size, I would include this. And then for a little bit more of like a hydrating aspect to go first, I do have the Stila One Step Correct. This is 1 fluid ounce, which goes for $36. I do have the Laura Mercier primers, but I use them all the time because they're my Project Pan. These ones go for $39 normally, and I figured that was only like a couple dollar difference, so I would just go ahead and use my Stila one because I haven't used that one in forever. So I am going to start off with the Stila one. I really love this primer. I think I want to include this in my Project Pan. I don't know if I'm going to roll out like my Laura Mercier one and just declutter the hydrating one because it really doesn't do much, and I don't love the feeling of like the gel one, whereas this one I feel like really does like make a difference, and it is more of like that kind of rich hydrating feeling rather than like a gel cream that just kind of sits on top of my skin. I've got that on, love it. Then I'm going to be using the Hollywood Flawless Filter, and if you've seen any of my previous videos, I use this as sort of like a pre-foundation, or sometimes I even use this as anything that has coverage. But I'll just hit over here and my nose and just sort of like my T-zone area where I want to be a little bit more highlighted and brightened. So I just like to blend that out with a brush, and I even take it over my eyes. Now we're looking all prepped and glowy, feeling good. I'm going to go in with my foundation. So for my foundation, I have the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Perfect Glow Flawless Foundation. This is a $64 foundation. This one I did get on sale during their like friends and family sale. I think it was like 25 or 30% off like a year or two ago. So this is getting up there, but I really do love this foundation. I don't wear foundation too often, but this one and the one from Urban Decay, the new Stay Naked foundation, those ones are the ones that I tend to go for just because I love the finish, and I wear this in the shade 4.5. It is a little bit of a runnier formula, so I'm just going to take that and dot that on my face. And then I'm going to take my same foundation brush. This is just the IT Cosmetics It Brushes for Ulta. I don't know which one it is, but I think it's just like the buffing foundation brush. Foundation is all blended out. It has this such beautiful satin finish. I really love the formula of this foundation. It wears really well. It looks really well from the beginning. Like some foundations you kind of have to be like, okay, well, you know, maybe if I use my powder, or maybe if I'll use some setting spray, it would kind of make it look good, but this one always just looks good like right off the bat, and that's what I love about it. Then we have up next for my concealer, I have the Hourglass Vanish Airbrush Concealer. I actually have two of them. I also purchased these during like their family and friend sale. I think it was like last year, like last summer. And I ordered one, but it actually came like the packaging, like the stopper like doesn't work, so it got like very messy. They ended up resending me one, and I was able to get a different shade because the original shade I had gotten was a little bit too dark at the time, which was in Oat. They sent me the shade Cotton, which I think I'm going to use today. This one goes for $34, and this is another really good one. I don't need much. It does have pretty good coverage, and I don't want my under eyes to look too cakey, so I'm just going to do just a little bit right over here. You can see it has really good coverage. It's very smoothing on the under eyes. It does not look cakey at all, which is another thing that I love about this concealer, because it has that kind of full coverageness, but it's not very thick, so it doesn't look very creasy and cakey on the under eyes. All blended out. Now before I do my powder, I actually have a cream contour product, so I'm going to be going in with the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Contour Wand. It just comes in one shade, or actually no, I have the shade Fair Medium. This is so good. I purchased this a little while ago, maybe like a couple months ago, and I used to be obsessed with it. Then I got the Milk Makeup one, which is in my Project Pan, so I was working on that one, but I'm excited to go ahead and try this one out again. I remember really loving it. I'm actually going to do, because sometimes when I draw it on my forehead, it can take off the foundation, so I'm just going to like put out a little bit of it kind of on the back of my hand, just like that. I take this Morphe M523, which is what I like to use for cream contour. I'm going to pick up a little bit of that and buff this into my forehead. Okay, then I'm going to hit my cheeks with it. So I did my whole face with a little bit of that. I did put a little bit on my nose, did the other side, a little bit under my chin. Now I'm going to go ahead and go in with my powder. I have a mini of the Hourglass Veil Translucent Setting Powder. This is so good. A good, like, not super affordable, but more affordable dupe of this is the Beauty Bakery one, the Flower Powder. This is my absolute favorite powder ever, and they have almost identical formulas. This one's in the shade Oat, and then this one is just in, I think this one only comes in one shade, the regular translucent one. And the full size of this powder goes for $46, so this is a very, very pricey powder. So I'm just going to tap out any creases and just apply this the way that I apply all my powders. I put a little bit into the cap and I'm just gonna go on my under eyes. Oh, I love this powder. It's so smooth and it just gives me that like airbrushed effect. I love it so much. And then I'm just gonna take the little bit that's left in the cap with the bigger brush and I'm just gonna set my cheeks. Okay, so now I think I am going to add just a little bit of powder bronzer just because I want a little bit more glow, even though the Charlotte Tilbury one, I actually don't even think I really need any, but I did pick out a bronzer, which is the Hourglass Ambient Luminous Bronze Light Powder. This I got on Poshmark for literally like, I think it was like $15 and then with like $4.99 shipping, so it was like $20 total, which is so good because this retails for $52, which is crazy. Like, I love this formula so much, but I'm really, really happy that I didn't spend full price on it. So I'm just gonna dust a little bit of this just over where I had that contour. Normally I like to use a more matte bronzer on my neck, but I will just take a little bit of this down onto my neck just to kind of even things out a bit. And that's so pretty. I don't know if you can tell much of a difference, but it just gives me that little bit of glow, and I love this bronzer. I think it's so gorgeous. Now for blush, I have another Hourglass product. I promise this is my last one, but I do have an Hourglass blush. This one's in the shade Diffused Heat, which I do like, but it's very, very pinky and very, very light. So you can see that's what it's like on the back of my hand, but I do have the blush formula in just a different packaging. This is like their holiday packaging. It was the Ambient Lighting Edit Mini. And they have this really pretty kind of mauve-y toned blush, so you can see the difference. This one is much darker, so I'm technically using the blush one, but I am going to be using the one just from this palette just because I prefer this shade a little bit more. And the full-size Hourglass blushes go for $40. I got this one on sale from Sephora when they were doing like a 20% off sale, and I think it was already on sale. But I did get this one off of Poshmark as well, I think for like, I think it was like $12 with $4.99 shipping again. So if you're interested in trying out like these high-end sort of products, definitely check out Poshmark. You can follow me over on Poshmark as well. Sometimes I relist a couple of new items that I'm not loving, but I want to get rid of. So I do have a couple things for sale in my shop right now. But just check out Poshmark in general, and you can just do searches for brands, and you can find a ton of different products like this. And they're so pretty, and you can get them for like a fraction of the price. Okay, my lips look like awful, so I just wiped off the like foundation and stuff, and I'm gonna go in with my lip product. This is the Dior Lip Glow Color Reviver Balm. I think that this goes for $34, but let me double check. Yeah, so these go for actually $35 now. This one, the first one I bought on sale, but this one I did buy retail just because I love the formula of this product. Like, it's just the perfect shade for me. It's creamy feeling, it's not gritty at all. It gives a little bit of gloss, but it's not overly glossy. Like, I just think that this is so pretty, and I love this. I've used up a full one of these already in a different shade. I think that was in my last empties video, or was in my last project pan, I don't remember. Yeah, you can see how much progress I've already made, and I've had this for like maybe a month or so. Then I'm going to go in with my highlight. So I have the Natasha Denona Super Glow. This is in the shade 02 Light Medium. This is so pretty. I love this highlight. This was another find that I got on Poshmark. I don't remember how much I got it for, but it was definitely like very, very cheap. And when you buy stuff off Poshmark, there's like a misconception that it's always used. Most of the time you find things that are new. Like, I even found this Pixie highlight. This is like the Glowy Gloss Gossamer Duo. I found this for new on Poshmark as well. I love it. It's things that like they don't sell anymore, limited edition things that you missed out on. I think that they're really great, but this highlight retails for $38, so this is definitely my most expensive. But I mean, it's so pretty. It's a little bit dark for me, but once I do my setting spray, things always kind of dampen down a bit, so it's not too bad. But the lightest shade I think was like very, very light. Like, it wasn't a shade that I would prefer. This one's more of like that kind of champagne color. It's not too bad. It just reflects so pretty. Now, first, I think I'm actually going to go in with my setting spray. This is the Milk Hydro Grip setting spray. This is like the most expensive setting spray that I can even like find. Maybe there's more luxury ones, but this is more expensive than like my ABH one, way more expensive than that, MAC Fix Plus, Urban Decay All Nighter, all of them. Like, this is the most expensive. The full size of this goes for $36, so an almost $40 setting spray. I actually have the mini, but the mini wasn't cheap. Like, this was like $18 or something, I think. Definitely like not worth it, but I really love this, so like it might be worth it. I don't know, but I love this product. It is my most expensive, so I'm gonna go in with this. And then after I do my setting spray, I just like to take my fingertips and lightly press everything in, just because it makes things look less powdery. Then for brow products, I don't have many brow products. I decluttered a bunch and I'm just kind of working through them. So my most expensive brow pencil that I have left is this one from MAC. This is the, I don't even know what it's called, the Eyebrow Styler. I have the shade Spiked, and this goes for $19. I have this one, or a Morphe one, or like a Primark one. So this is definitely my most expensive one that I have left. So I'm just gonna comb through very quickly, and then I'm gonna take the pencil and do my brows. Alright, so this is what the brows are looking like, and then I just have a clear brow gel. So I have the Kosas Air Brow. This is just the regular clear one. It has such like this pretty iridescent packaging. I don't know how well you'll be able to see, but I either had this one or my NYX Brow Glue, so this is the most expensive. I also think these are just expensive in general. Double check on the price. So this goes for $22, which I thought that this was going to be more than what the Gimme Brow was, which I do have, but only in the tinted version, and I wanted to use a clear brow gel since I was using the pencil. But the Gimme Brow goes for $24, but the Kosas clear one goes for $22. So I love this brow gel. I don't have any other clear ones like I mentioned except for my NYX one, which I actually don't even really like. I think next time I do a declutter, I am just going to get rid of it. Because brow gels, I feel like I don't need multiple of. I just need like one tinted and one clear. And the NYX one I don't even use because that one leaves a like white cast in my brows, so not a big fan of that one. But the Kosas one I do love. I think that it combs through my brows really nicely, and I don't know, I just really like it. So next up we have eyeshadow. So my most expensive eyeshadow palette that I have is this one from Huda Beauty. This is the Rose Gold Remastered eyeshadow palette, and this is a $65 eyeshadow palette. I wasn't going to count my singles because if like collectively I used all my singles, that would be like over like, you know, a couple $100. But one pre-made palette that is my most expensive is this Huda Beauty one. So I'm going to be going in with this one today. So I'm not sure what kind of look I'm going to do yet, but I think I'm going to start off with the shade Demure, which is this one right over here. It's kind of like a sort of dusty pinky shade. I just realized I never even took the plastic off, so we'll do a little satisfying moment. So I just put that all over and took it a little bit onto my under eye. I'm just going to do that on the other side. I think I'm going to mix the shades Suede and Sandalwood together to make, because this one's very gray and that one's very orange, so I'm just going to try to make it a little bit more sort of neutrally, but add a little bit of depth to my look. So I'm liking how this is looking. Then I think I'm going to go in with one of the shimmer shades. I don't know which one to pick. I'm kind of really tempted to do Pink Diamond. This one is like so pretty. So I think I'm going to do that. I'm just going to take that on my finger. It's so gorgeous. And I'm going to tap this onto kind of my inner part of my eye. Yeah, that is like so sparkly and pretty. I could definitely put this over like concealer to make it even more like, you know, pack a punch. But I think that this looks so pretty, just kind of like diffused over my eyelid. And then next up we have my mascara. So my most expensive mascara that I had is the Pat McGrath Labs Fetish Eyes mascara, which I actually don't really like at all. So I'm going to mix it with my L'Oreal Telescopic, which by no means is the most expensive, but the Pat McGrath one does go for $30. I'm just gonna curl my lashes and then just kind of layer the two together, and I'll be right back. Okay, and then this is what the lashes look like. The Pat McGrath one doesn't make them like be as curled, but I did mix it with the waterproof telescopic, so that did help a little bit. But yeah, the Pat McGrath one just isn't my personal favorite. I'm just letting this dry a little bit, but I guess I will talk about my liner that I'm gonna be doing. But first off, I love how this eye look is. I wish like you could see the sparkles in person. They're so pretty. I wish you could see them a little bit better, but with the lighting, it kind of gets light from like every angle, so you can't see it shimmer as much. The liner that I'm going to be using today is the Charlotte Tilbury Feline Flick Volume 2 Liquid Eyeliner, and I have the shade Super Brown. Now, as you know, my favorite liners ever are these little ColourPop ones that are like, I think like $6 or $7. I have literally every single shade. This one goes for $30. I splurged on it last year for my birthday. I will treat myself with it, but this is a really, really good liner. I just store this upside down with the rest of my other liquid liners, and it's really good. I love how long like the tip of it is. It makes it really easy to get a super pretty like wing. I don't know, I really love it, but it is so expensive, like $30. I'm like, ugh, every time I use it, I'm like, what if this is the last time? Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do this. Let me see. My lashes are pretty dry, so I'm just gonna go ahead. I don't know if I can bring you any closer so that you can kind of see me do my liner a little bit better. I tried to bring you closer. I go in with this, so I don't know how well you'll be able to see. Let me see if I move this, because I have to go like here to do it. But I just draw my wing first, and then I connect it. Like that, and then I'll fill this in. And then draw a little bit along my lash line, but I don't bring it in all the way, just because then I think it looks a little bit too heavy on me. But that's that. I think it looks really, really pretty. I love the Charlotte Tilbury one because it is a little bit lighter than my ColourPop one. So with a more light sort of pinky look like this one, I think that the lighter brown looks really, really pretty. But I'm gonna go ahead and do my other eye, and I'll be right back. So this is the liner on both eyes all done. I think it looks so pretty. And then I think just to finish off the look a little bit more, since it's kind of more glam, I want to do a little bit more on the lips. But I have one of the mini Charlotte Tilbury lipsticks, like the Matte Revolution lipstick. This is the shade Walk of No Shame, and the full size goes for $34. So it's definitely my most expensive bullet lipstick, even though this one's the mini, but we'll still count it. But this is described as a berry rose, but it's such a pretty shade. I'm going to apply this all over, and just give me 1 second. And this is the lipstick. I think that this shade is so pretty. These are like the Matte Revolution lipsticks, but they're really not matte. They're more of like a, kind of like a creamy satin. I wouldn't say they're like matte and powdery. They're definitely like a little bit of shine. I did have a lip balm underneath, but I've worn these plenty of other times before, but I think that it looks so pretty with the eye look, and I'm just obsessed with how this look came out. I feel very bougie wearing all of my most expensive makeup products, but that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. I figured since I did a drugstore favorites video that I would do my most expensive makeup just to kind of share a little bit more range in my collection. And just a reminder that I am doing a giveaway for the Mandalorian Child palette from ColourPop. This one's mine, but I do have a brand new one all sealed up and ready to go for you guys for when I hit 300 subscribers. Now I think I'm at like 262 or something like that, but once I hit 300, I'm going to announce official end date, which is going to be a week after the day that I hit 300. More information in the description box below, but just the gist of it is you have to subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me on Instagram, which is at Tagliente. I'm not sure which side it'll be on, and comment green emojis on the post where I share the details of the giveaway, kind of talk about this palette a little bit more. Is all that you guys need to know. So I will see you in my next video. Thank you guys again so much for watching. Bye guys!